Hi, my name is Jason Luft, and I am the professional at Palouse Ridge Golf Club. We have a tournament coming up, the AJGA, at the end of the month, and I wanted to actually show and give preparation videos for those people out there. I am going to be giving it from the women side of things first and foremost. This is going to be holes number 1, 2, and 3 in my 6-part series of the women's practice round. So, this hole is a straightforward 353-yard par 4. These are the tee box. This is the tee shot that you will be facing. If you see this here, ideally most people, the green is actually right out there, but most people believe that they need to aim straight at this. If they do, it will actually go down to the right and bad things will happen. There are 2 trees down there that will snooker your ball and you will be forced to kick out left and be lucky to save par. The hardest part about this is bringing yourself to actually aim at that tree right there. It is far left of the fairway. You think it is going to be in the rough, but it is not. And literally, if you play a cut and bring it back, if you land anywhere in those trees, it will actually shoot to the right. And I will actually show you as we move forward down this. The next part of this video is actually to show you the undulation of the fairways that we will come. So I'm going down the middle of the fairway currently. You can see the green coming up here, but I'm going to shoot over to the right side and show you why we don't want to be on the right side. Because as we hit the right side of this fairway, even if we were in the fairway, which goes all the way to currently where I'm at, you see that the green literally disappears due to that tree right there. And there's another tree behind it that lines the right side of this green. Now you can also see that if you do miss the fairway right, it's severely sloping down. This does not give it justice, as this is probably 15 to 20 yards down to those trees in height alone. It's probably 50 yards to those trees, but it's 30 yards downhill. These trees on this side all group together and severely punish anybody that goes to the right of this hole. So you can see the trees that we aimed at over there and see the undulation that comes down off of this ridge. And it seems that it would stop right there at that flat spot, but it's hiding a significant problem that a lot of people don't know of until they get here at the course. And that is, if you follow down the fairway here and go down our fairway, I am now on top of that ridge. And look what it does. It severely drops. It drops almost 70 yards down to that collection area down here by this tree. And as you can see, I'm still on the right side of the fairway. I'm probably 15 yards in off the first cut of rough there, and I still can only see half the green. So that left side bunker is level with the green. There are very few lips in it, so it's a very easy bunker shot. Ideally, with a good shot at these trees from back there, you are going to come up, you're going to land somewhere right in there, and it's going to kick down into that collection area, which will be fine. Ideally, I actually want people to end up right in here, which is the 120 to 100 yard mark. It's a slightly downhill lie, but it is exactly level with where the green is. I'm probably 15 yards above where the green is height-wise. Now, the wind is back in my face today, which it should be on those days. And even if you land in that rough and don't release out of that rough, that is a very easy shot comparatively to being snookered behind the tree. I'm going to drive down the right side here so everybody can see the right side of this fairway. It does not ever come back to the left. It stays going right the entire way. And as of right here, even in the fairway from 120 out, I'm snookered behind the tree completely. And that tree is only 40 yards away, so it is a very difficult shot to get up from. You can see on the right side here, it's impossible over there. If you get in the collection area, which is where we want, this is the ideal tee shot. And you can actually see this is 110 yards out to the green. It is right at eye level, slightly uphill, but not bad, so we can stop the ball. Now, if you do release all the way down for the longer hitters and get down in here, you run into the risk of being snookered by that tall, skinny pine tree that follows the right side of this green. This is where people think that they're okay, but as you can see, I am significantly below that green. It is probably 30 yards up. It's dead into the wind. You have this tree that's blocking the right side of the green. You have a bunker that you can't see where it begins or ends. And it's not an easy pitch shot by any means. It's very, very drastic. Now, if I come back to where we kicked off of the hill up here, and I apologize for the driving back and forth, but I want to give you an idea of this. You can see that the cart path is up there. I'm driving dead up a hill, and it just releases back down to where it is. And so there's no reason whatsoever to not aim left. These are the trees that I had you aiming at, and you can see that the cart path comes back. Generally, most people, even the long hitters, will end up here, and this is a much more manageable shot into the green than even down there where a good tee shot in the fairway goes. So I'm okay with the being in this. It looks a little dead at the moment, but we will definitely make sure that it's watered up. This is a much better shot, even the downhill lie here, than being anywhere down in that area. Now, as we approach the green, I'm going to just drive up the fairway here so you can see how drastic it comes down, even from 100 yards. This currently is a 50-yard pitch shot, and you can barely see the top of the hill, let alone the flag. The flag is just barely visible there. You can see how much it drastically changes. So my personal preference is to actually attack the left side of this green. Now, most people will look at this here and say that they want to hit it here and it'll go down in there, which is perfectly fine. It just makes it a little bit more difficult because of that tree, as earlier said. I'm perfectly fine with being right on that ridge right there. That is a 100-yard to 120-yard shot. Even up in the rough up in here is perfectly fine because it gives you this entire green to work with. And as we come to this green, you will notice a visible ridge right across there. Now, as you can see, there's not really a lip on this bunker except for the back. It plays more of a backstop away from the green than it does to hit this. And that was actually a design flaw designed by the architect because he wanted you to aim at this bunker. The idea is to play out of this bunker and take away this right side, because as we come up to this ridge, you will see this long, this is probably 50 yards front to back. It is probably 25 yards at its narrowest and 30 yards at its widest. But it's a false illusion because from here you can see this coloring of grass, this lightening of grass, and it really is evident right there. And you see that everything slopes that way. And as you can see, they made this collar that is hidden by this tree that slopes directly down. And this is a catch area for anything that's in this little area right here, right of half the green goes down here. And that is a 30-yard, if not a 35-yard pitch shot uphill, probably 20 yards uphill. It is significant. If I'm standing right here, I'm going to walk down this hill so you can actually see how far it goes down and how drastic it goes down. So everything will come and collect down here in this rough, which will be significantly longer at the day of the tournament. But look, we're probably 5-10 yards down and I'm barely in the rough. So it's a blind chip shot back up, and it's not where we want to be at all. And you can really see the definition of that ridge right there now. Anything right side of the green will funnel towards this. Generally in tournaments, they will place a pin right back here in the back left, or they will place it right on that ridge. Either way, we want to attack the left side of this green. Everything on the left side of this green will actually funnel to the right. This is actually a fairly common pin placement here on the green. You can see that we've punched recently, so we have about 2 weeks ago they punched the greens. They're healing up nicely, but you can see where the marks were, and they will be firm and fast come tournament time. Now, right in here, you can see that it's a level, very easy, nothing uphill really chip shot out of the bunker. The bunker is perfectly fine, and everything will funnel right to those pins, right to this pin. There are a lot of double breaks on this green. This is one of the toughest greens on the course. As you can see, it goes down there, comes up, goes down the ridge, comes up, goes down the ridge, comes back up, and where I'm standing is right on the ridge off of that bump right there. So this is a very, very manageable hole. If we play it correctly, we will not have to worry about any of that. There's going to be a lot of people that play it long. There will be a lot of people that play it right into those trees or try to cut the corner. It's a bad decision. We are going to aim basically at these trees right here and just let the contours work. Let's move on. So as we move on to hole number 2 here, driving up, really focus on the idea that hole number 1 is where we want to par. I've seen a lot of competitions, Pac-12 championship for the women's. I've seen U.S. Open qualifiers. I've seen U.S. amateur qualifiers here. I've seen a lot of big name tournaments here, and literally 9 times out of 10, that hole plays significantly harder than it actually does on the scorecard. Now, one of the cool things about our course is it's wide open. You can attack it, and I want to show you the view from the tee box of 2. You can actually see that's hole number 6 right over there. That's green of 5. That's 7 tee box going down to 7 green, and then 5 tee boxes up there. We will get into those holes on the next videos, but I really want to show you the tee box shot of what you're going to look at number 2, which brings us to hole number 2. Hole number 2 is being played from the grays for the women. It is 340 yards. As you can see right here are actually the gray tees. It's actually going to probably be up a little bit more up there. Right now we have them playing back just to heal the tee boxes a little bit from use. It's a hot summer day right now, and it's been in the 90s the last couple days. The wind on this hole will actually be at your back. As you can see, right down there is actually hole number 1. Hole number 1 green is actually right down there. But this is where they have it slated to play for the women. And if you can see right out there, there is a little white stake. That is the 150 marker. And to the left of it is a bushy tree. And to the left of that is another bushy tree. So this is how this hole plays. You can see the fescue on this right side. This entire right side is out of bounds. There's a road that goes right down there in between us to a facility for WSU, and it's off limits, so they actually have it completely off limits. Now, as you can see, the hill right there that we played off of, the first one, is actually in between us. Now that we don't want to hit this time because it will take us back down to 1, and we don't want to do that. So the ideal tee shot is actually a draw right from the right side of that, almost where this peak is on the mountain. And I want you to draw it about 10 to 15 yards. And I'll show you why we want to draw it 10 to 15 yards here in a second. I want a little low runner. And the reason you want a little low running shot here is because from the 150 mark into the green, which is the extra 100 yards, 150 yards, it is straight downhill. You can drive this green. It may play as a 339 yard shot, but I'm going to be honest, if you can get anywhere close to 290 with run out because of the wind, you will be on the green. And this is a very deceiving hole as it plays significantly better. And I'm going to give you the idea what it looks like. This is all the out of bounds on the left side. It's all tall fescue that we let grow. It's very much a link style course. Even the rough here is very linksy and sandy. We don't like to take stuff down. You'll see a lot of stuff off to the left here. And this is the 150 marker as we come up on it. And you can see back to the tee there. There is a little undulation here that brings you back down. So that's why we want to start on the right side. Now from 150 yards, you can see here, I'm 150 yards out. It looks pretty basic. But where's the green? The green is down in a hole. And I'll show you the hole really quick. So as we come up to this, you'll actually see there's somebody on the green as we speak. But it drops probably 50 yards. And the green, the entire green complex is actually within a bowl And so this entire green slopes from front left to back right, or sorry, from back left to front right. It is significantly, if you hit a 250-yard shot, you will land roughly right here. And as you can see, it gets a lot of usage from where balls have landed. And everything will funnel right down to anywhere from here for a 250-yard shot to all the way up to right there. Now, I can actually drive this green with a 3-wood, and my 3-wood goes 250 yards. The wind is generally directly at your back, and this hole is where we attack. It is attack, attack, attack. Now, this is one of the hardest pin placements that they could possibly put for you, and I will show you what it is here in just a second. Generally, you will end up right in here. This will be your chip shot. As you can see, a lot of people chip right here. This is the shot. It is seriously down in a bowl. Now, as I come up here, you will see that if you manage to run it up this hill a little bit, it will actually drop right down onto this green. You can see that it is completely in this bowl, 100% in this bowl. This is a 45-degree angle down. It comes back up slightly as this little edge of the green is elevated. It's actually a lipped edge on the green, and I'll try to give you a good idea of what we call the trough here. Now, the reason we have to have this is because otherwise the green would become so wet that you couldn't possibly do it. So we basically made a trough here. You can see that it is a little bit lipped there as it comes down, and it catches all the water and kind of brings it over. There's a drainage right over in there so we can drain the water. If not, this would be significantly marshy and wet. But with that being said, everything can actually come down and run on. I've seen many women, amateurs, that can hit the ball 250 actually drive this green. Now, you can see that it's a peanut-shaped green. This is actually one of the smallest greens that we have on the complex. The back there is only literally 15 yards across, if not 12. The front is 20 to 25 yards max. In fact, I will pace it off for you at its widest point here. I am on the fringe right now, the collar, and I'll walk across. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4, that's 5, that's 6, that's 7, that's 8, that's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 paces across is all the farther it goes. And you can see everything goes down to this drain here. From this angle, you will really see that everything trickles left. Most likely, this will be one of the pin locations. Generally, this is going to be the easiest or the hardest pin location. This will probably be the championship round pin location. I'm going to guess 9 times out of 10 right in this area, the middle of the green is going to be where they're actually going to put the day 2, and day 1 will most likely be back here. Now, as you can see, it is in this loop. So this pitch shot, you are actually going to aim for this hill. You're not going to aim anywhere near the green. And I will demonstrate a pitch shot and what it does to this back location so that you can actually see, because I want you to see how this reacts in different areas. I will grab 3 balls. I'll pitch one to the front, I'll pitch one to the back, and I'll pitch one to the middle so you can see exactly how it actually reacts. You can see how far up my cart is because it is significantly downhill. You can't even see the 150 marker up there. That's how far down it is. So as long as you can play that low running shot with a little bit of draw, this is a very attackable hole. In competition, I generally see this one birdied 9 times out of 10. A par is okay, as is always. However, you want to be attacking this hole. So I'm going to literally come up here so you can see the entire green. And I'm going to punch this out here. Hopefully you can see the green here. Perfect. So you can see that this is actually right over here is the rightmost side of the green. So I'm going to grab a 60 degree really quick, a couple golf balls here. Let me grab my golf balls. So I'm going to put this right here so that you can see. I'm just going to chip from right here, and I'm literally going to put this first one is going to be, I'm going to aim right here, like right in this area right here. I don't want to go very far at all. And I'm going to show you what it does. So if you play a little spinny one, I mean, that didn't go very far at all. That's going to go all the way back to that back right corner. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can see that ball. So that's going to be where the pin placement is going to be in one of the first 2 days. Now, that back one, if you notice, I hit that way off the left side. I'm actually going to aim this for the rough on the left side of this green. And as you can see, it rolls right down towards the trough. If that pin placement's right down there, it'll actually be a perfect little chip shot. It'll roll straight down. You don't want to be anywhere near the middle of the green. Now, if I go for that back pin placement, I'm still going to aim at that rough just where the peanut comes together. And that will actually track almost all the way to the back right where that pin placement will be. So I'm going to do one more shot really quick. I'm actually going to show you what happens if you actually hit the middle of the green and how far it reacts to that left. I hope you can still see that. Let me get this a little bit better. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to do the same shot. Now I'm going to try to attack the pin. And I'm going to turn this so you can actually see the pin better. And I want you to really focus on how far this, I'm going to go right at this pin. I want you to see how far right this goes. This is aimed directly at the pin. That's going to go straight in the bunker. And it's because of the way this is actually designed. This entire course is fed to that bunker, to that collection area down there. So it's one of those things that we really, really want to avoid. Now, mind you, that is not a hard bunker to get out of. In fact, if we do get in that bunker, depending on the pin placement, you will actually might putt out of that bunker. It's a much easier shot than trying to get up and down out of that bunker. As you can see, when I come up here, I'll show you again. This is that first shot that I left, or the second shot that I left, and I literally hit it way up here. And you can see how it trickled down, and I almost was on the green. If I give this just a little bit more, watch how far that feeds out. That's a 15-foot putt. And that's going to be the shot that we do when the pin is here. Because if we hit anywhere in this area, it's going to be in that bunker. Now, this is that first shot that I hit that I literally landed like right there. It came all the way across the green, all the way to this back edge. Okay? So, generally speaking, and I'll show you a pin where a pin was cut. In fact, right here is where a pin was cut. Right there. And you can see that that's an 8-foot putt. That's a makeable putt. Now in this back, I hit literally right there by that sprinkler. And it comes down and everything feeds back to this back. And remember the first part of this green was only 23 paces across. This is the widest part of the back, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 to the collar. So it's 9 paces left, but you can see there's a pin that was cut there recently. So that would have been a 3-foot putt for birdie had it been in this back. The back is considered significantly easier than that front because it's protected by that. Now, I did say that we might putt out of this bunker, and you'll understand why here in a second. There is no lip on the front. So if it is that pin, and we somehow do it, we can putt out and it'll go right to it. Or if it's in the back, we can actually putt up this slope right here that was designed for that, and it'll go right to there. The only place that we won't be able to is right there. Now this sand, as we've discussed, is a very fluffy sand. You can see it's very, very fluffy sand. It is a micro sand. I will give you the details on it here shortly. But it is very fluffy and loose when it's dry. When it is wet, it compacts down and it becomes almost like the metallic sand, the magnetic sand, that you can buy for kids. It's dense. The club doesn't dig in it. When it's like this, you can do all sorts of shots in the dry weather, but in the wet weather, it becomes significantly harder sand to play out of. So we are going to move on to hole number 3, and let's go have some fun.